It seems unbelievable now, but do you know there was a time when MTV played music videos? Not just occasionally, I mean all day, every day. That's right, the network that brought you such groundbreaking shows as Teen Mom, Date My Mom, and Yo Mama started out as a music station. In fact, that might well be what the M stands for. Or it could be Mama. The popularity of MTV in the 80s and 90s made the music video into a powerful promotional tool. The right video could bring about the kind of exposure that would catapult a band to the big time, so it was considered to be well worth investing in expertise and production values. In America, the big stars of MTV would appear in 4-minute movies with $1 million budgets. It was a contagious video fever, and seemingly everyone was paying top whack for a Technicolor shot at becoming an all-singing, occasionally dancing TV star. But by the time I got my chance in front of the camera, the golden age of the music video was already coming to an end. I should point out at this time that before I became the seasoned professional, towering man of song that you see before you, I was the withering little frontman in a band called Easy World, and we were signed to Jive Records, which is the record label that brought you Britney Spears and Backstreet Boys and Justin Timberlake and NSYNC and Steps, to name but a few. And I think signing my band to their label was them trying to be credible and sign like a real band that played real guitars. And for our band's management, it was a chance to sell us as a pop band. And it kind of didn't work out for anybody, for a number of reasons, all of which are in the book. But I'm not going to go into those right now. Instead, we're on about the videos. So this is my experience of the video commissioning process for the minor artist on a British record label. Okay. A track is chosen from the completed album to be the new single. The assembled promotional team at the label evaluates the commercial potential of the single and agrees upon a reasonable budget for the production of a promotional video. The video department at the label sends the track to a number of renowned and promising video directors, along with details of the artist and, more importantly, the budget. The director listens to the track and visualizes a filmic accompaniment to the music and writes an elaborate description of their vision. This elaborate description is thereafter known as a treatment. The video department gathers all the treatments, destroys the unacceptable ones, and presents the remainder to the artist for perusal. The artist reads the treatments are completely bloody awful. Most of the big ideas pitched for Easy World videos would consist of the band playing live in a strange and interesting location. Most of the locations would be a dusty old house or something, with shafts of light beaming through dusty old windows onto dusty old floorboards. But wait, because there's always a twist. The band wears army gear or something. And that was it. Inspired. Was this really the extent of creativity offered by the creative sector? For the longest time, I thought just the talent pool was incredibly shallow. It took me a while to understand why it was I kept reading so many boring video treatments. There was no lack of talent or creativity among filmmakers. These directors had some wonderful ideas. They just weren't going to waste them on a bunch of nobodies whose label only deemed them worthy of a tiny video budget. Those chumps get the dusty old house treatment off the big pile of dusty old house treatments, and the good stuff gets saved for when Radiohead need a video. So we never had the best videos. But still, by the time we'd shot a third, our record label had already spent more money on low-budget video production than they had on recording the album these short films did so little to promote. This is because even cheap videos are horribly expensive to make when you have to deal with the film cartel. Our most modest shoots would require astonishing numbers of production crew. It was a wild swarm of activity, a blur of light meters, clapperboards, and fluorescent duct tape. We were in the very bottom bracket of the professional video budget range, but it was a struggle to get anything shot for under £10,000 a day. Now, I don't know about you, but I still think that 10 grand is quite a lot of money, especially to purchase a no-frills, entry-level product that never really stood a fighting chance. By the time the second Easy World album came out, it had been decided that in order to make the band a success, the stakes would have to be raised. Our primary weapon in the new ground offensive was to be the promo video. Despite a steady decline in the amount of TV airtime available for music videos, a 5-fold increase in our video budget was decreed. The next batch of Easy World videos certainly looked better than the last, but probably achieved less. It wasn't exactly Thriller. Poor old Jive Records continued to play the old game with naive desperation and blinkered inflexibility. Didn't work last time? Why not try the same thing again and again until it does? It was like music promotion in the trenches of the Great War. Every few months they'd send another 50,000 over the top into the mysterious muddy no man's land of film, never to return. By the autumn of 2004, the final Easy World video had failed to connect with the great British public, and the band split up, with its running total of film expensive approaching the £250,000 mark. We now fast forward. It's 9 months later, and a group of men and women are sat around a table high up in a tall, shiny building in New York City. It's a marketing meeting at a very major record label, and the boss is not happy. He's in a mood for kicking some ass, as only powerful American executive types really can. He punches a button on a remote control and a large TV screen mounted on the wall behind him comes to life. Colourful images of glamorous locations, shapely thighs, some bountiful cleavage and flashy jewellery appear on the screen to the sound of programmed beats and breathy verse, warbling chorus, synth bass, some string sounds, auto-tuned to death, the usual pop production bollocks. This is where I have to do the accent. So I'm gonna... Okay, this is the big American executive boss man. This is the new video for one of our major artists, says the angry man. More legs, a pair of full glossy pouty lips, a shiny and expensive car. It cost $500,000. Big hair, another thigh, the twinkle of diamonds, the gentle curvature of a feminine buttock. The angry man hits the pause button with a flourish. The film stops. A pair of immaculately tanned and toned thighs fill the screen. This is the biggest pile of fucking horseshit I've ever seen! What the fuck are we doing? $500,000 fucking dollars? Are you out of your fucking minds? Does nobody have an original idea in their fucking head? You need $500,000 to shoot a fucking tits and ass movie? Does this fucking piece of shit represent the creativity of this company? If this is the best we can do, then we are fucked! There was silence, and some awkward shifting in seats. Okay, now I want you to watch this, he says, leaning forward on the table, jabbing an index finger into its shiny surface to underline his emphasis. This is creativity. This is what I'm fucking talking about. Some fucking kid made this video for $3 fucking bucks and is better than what we can do with $500,000 fucking dollars. He aims the remote over his shoulder and pokes it towards the TV screen. The image of bronze-legged perfection vanishes. The screen goes black, then slowly fades up on the grainy black and white image of a typically grubby English street. A figure appears. It's me. I walk across the street, through a white door and into a house and down 3 flights of stairs to a basement filled with musical instruments, where I spend the next 7 minutes or so playing my song, State of the Union, in one continuous camera shot. Now, when an eyewitness recounted to me the story of this disastrous meeting, I smiled a smile of sweet satisfaction. Not so much because of the recognition that I had received, but because that weird little piece of film, made for no particular purpose, had for a brief moment become the central reference material in the staged ambush and humiliation of an entire marketing ethos. Whatever I may or may not achieve in my life, I will always be proud of that. Of course, the angry man was fired within a year, while the commissioners of the expensive, glitzy video would go on to commission many more expensive, glitzy videos, confirming that in truth, I never represented any kind of future model for creativity at the major labels. I was instead the soundtrack to the last sputterings of a doomed resistance. But something was happening, and by the summer of 2005 the word was out, and I surprisingly found myself the subject of a very modest but palpable worldwide music industry buzz. Even more surprisingly, this buzz has been generated predominantly by a music video. The State of the Union video shoot had lasted 10 minutes. It had a crew of one, was lit by table lamps, and had cost nothing. It captured a slightly embellished version of my usual live performance of the song. The film was shot on a budget camcorder operated by The Cock. I should point out that The Cock is a character in the story. He's one of my dearest friends from back home. His name is in no way genital in origin. We call him The Cock simply because it is a shortening of the popular English surname Woodcock, which is not his name. But who knows where people get their nicknames from. The film was shot on a budget camcorder operated by The Cock. No cuts, no edits, no big deal. We thought it was pretty good, but hardly career-defining, but what the hell did we know? On an afternoon in April, The Cock and I had accidentally achieved what a legion of industry professionals, armed with expertise, equipment, experience, and thousands of pounds worth of record company investment had failed to achieve. We made a video that actually made a contribution to the cause. It connected with people, opened doors that I never knew existed, and presented before me a path that would ultimately lead around the world. And best of all, a big angry man across an ocean had used it to bloody some noses in the ugly scrap between art and commerce. All in all, it was a pretty good 10 minutes work.